Hey guys, this is Entertainment here, and today's story time is actually going to be a very crazy one in my opinion, and it's actually very serious too. Like this is actually one of the most serious events that happened to me, and I'm actually thought it'd be good to actually make it into a video. So yeah, I hope you guys actually like this video, and yeah, here's the story time. All right, so this story takes off in the 11th grade, and not gonna lie, in the 11th grade, I was kind of a goody goody two shoes, kind of. The reason why I say that is I never really got in trouble much in the 11th grade, and I was actually trying to stay mature. You know, I was like trying to listen to my parents and all that, trying not to get in trouble, trying to actually be pretty good. And honestly, I was actually having a pretty good streak until eventually I got late for class, engineering class actually, one of my favorite classes, just because I had to do canteen. And if you guys do not know what canteen means, canteen is literally just this thing that people do every single break. And honestly, in this high school, we had like about 2 to 3 breaks, and one of them was first break, the other one was lunch break, and the other one was whatever break, I don't really know. And basically, basically, I was getting in trouble not knowing it either because I was actually taking the canteen before engineering class and I actually had to take the carts back every now and then, making me late for class. And my teacher, like I walked in, my teacher asked me saying, "Hey, Ocean, why were you late?" And I actually explained, told him that I had to go to the canteen and all that, and he was like, "Okay, well, try not to be late anymore." And I was like, "Yes, sir." So I went back to my seat, sat down, and basically mind my own business after that and started actually listening to the teacher. And fast forward, school actually ended during this time. Like fast forward after a few hours, I went home, put my shoes down, and my mom walked in and said, "Hey, Ocean, can you please tell me why your teacher was telling me that you keep being late for class and all that?" And I looked at her, I was like, "Huh?" And they're like, "Yeah, apparently your teacher's literally just texted me saying that you're being late for class." And I was like, "Oh, I see. Well, that's because I had to do canteen every single day before class started." And and my mom actually looked at me and was like, "Okay, well, don't do the canteen anymore." I was like, "Well, mom, I don't really think that I'm actually supposed to stop. Like, I think I'm actually supposed to do this." And they looked at me, said, "Well, last time I checked, it was supposed to be optional." I was like, "Nope, I don't really think so." And they were like, "Well, we were trying to tell your teacher that." So the next day, fast forward, and I was told to do the canteen again. And no, honestly, I wasn't supposed to do canteen this day at all. Like I wasn't really on the list, but apparently a classmate read the list, read it wrong, accidentally got my name. And this is actually a Friday. And back then, my name was not on Fridays. So I actually had no idea what was going on. So I did the cart. I pushed the cart to the not to the canteen. I actually pushed the cart to the hallway. Break started. After a break, like fast forward after a break, I decided to basically bring the cart. Well, I actually kind of had help with my friend John. He was helping me with the carts, and we stopped by my engineering class. I was like, "Oh, hey John, can you deal with this cart for me? I'm not really supposed to be late for class anymore." And he's like, "Oh yeah, yeah, sure." And I was like, "Oh, thank you so much." So I gave him the cart, and basically he dragged the cart back to engineering class, like not to engineering class, but to the canteen. And whatever happened in the canteen, I'm pretty sure John got yelled at for it, and I didn't really mean to get him in trouble. And yeah, fast forward after engineering class, it was lunchtime. My teacher sat down at the same table as me, and my teacher looked at me in like complete disappointment. I was like, "What's going on?" And the teacher was like, "Oh, you know what's going on." And I was like, "What?" And basically, the teacher, I'm going to call him Mr. Johnson. Mr. Johnson looked at me and literally said, "Well, you didn't bring the canteen back to, you didn't bring the canteen cards back to the canteen like you were supposed to." I was like, "Yeah, that's because I was listening to my parents. My parents told me not to be late for engineering, so I was trying not to be late for engineering." And basically, my teacher looked at me and said, "Well, there's no excuse, and you're not going to be allowed to paint for the rest of the day." I was like, "What? That's absurd!" And they were like, "Well, you should have brought the cart back." And after lunch, I actually went back to my art area just to clean it up a bit. And my teacher walked in, said, "Nope, nope, get away from there." And I was like, "Why?" And he said, "You know why." And I was like, "Ugh, fine." So I sat down at the table, completely bored as heck. And my teacher literally said, "Oh, and by the way, if you tell your mom this, I'm just gonna say your mom actually calls me every single day, so I'm not gonna go and answer her if she tries to call." And I looked at her with complete anger in my eyes, and I said, "What did you just say about my mother?" And the teacher said, "Well, you heard me." And my brother was actually in the room when this happened. My brother actually heard some of it, and he started to chime in. And my brother, like, the exact response they had actually made me run in the fumes. Like, I was completely angry. He literally got up and literally joined the conversation a little bit and said, so teach, this is actually exactly what I always say, don't argue with an idiot." And I looked at my brother in complete anger because he didn't actually chime in to defend me, but yet he actually sided up with the teacher, and that actually completely pissed me off. So fast forward to the end of the day. The teacher, the teacher assistant came in, saw my art area was a mess, and asked me why was it still a mess. And I said, "Oh, you know why." And they were like, "Oh, do I?" I was like, "Yeah, you freaking pulled me out before I could even finish cleaning it." And she scuffed because I was being a total smartass about it and stuff like that. And I went home. And when I went home, I actually waited for about an hour before my mom walked out of her bedroom. And I basically told her what happened. At first, she didn't really believe me until I actually pulled my brother in, and my brother was like, "Yeah." The teacher basically said this basically happened. And my mom, I'm pretty sure I heard her, I'm pretty sure I heard her blood boil. Like, she looked pissed. I mean, she was 100% angry, kind of pissed. I mean, she was like, "Wait till your dad gets home." And my mom went onto the phone, basically called up the school, and told them what happened. The school's like, we were going to schedule a meeting or something like that. Well, that's basically what my parents told me. The next day, the meeting happened. It was my dad that actually came in. My dad went in, talked to the teacher, and he was actually very mad, but not at me, but mainly at the teacher. And basically, my dad was completely scolding him, like, over and over. And basically, at the end of the day, I actually got the win. My teacher didn't really bully me after that. Didn't really call me any names. Didn't say anything bad towards me after that. And everything was actually fine for the rest of it. And basically, after that, my mom actually said that she's going to be pulling me out of the school, putting me into an online school to stay away from that school district. And honestly, I didn't really like it, so I asked for one more year, and they granted me one more year to one more school year. So basically, I had the rest of the school year to basically spend time with my friends and all that before I left for online school. And basically, I was actually excited. I was very excited. So yeah, moral to the story is, don't be like this teacher, and definitely do not be like me, where you be a smartass to the teacher. So yeah, I hope you guys like this video. Please like and subscribe. Don't forget to comment down below. Bye, and see you in the next story.